Today is the final day of July, so obviously here in England I'm wearing my winter coat. But another week has rolled around, so it's time once again to gaze into the abyss. To view the people of the internet who seem blissfully unaware of how terrible or just plain asinine they truly are. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to People Being Awful Part 50. And let's kick off with the ever-present issue of gender ideology.
As a non-binary person, my transition goal is to be so androgynous that nobody can tell what my assigned gender at birth was. And so the most affirming thing that can happen to me, and it happens all the time, is when a transphobic person comes at me, either in person or online, and they're like, "You'll always be a man." You fool. You absolute buffoon! You thought you were insulting me, but you were actually giving me confidence! I've won! I've already won!
And on today's edition of Things That Didn't Happen, no one has ever called that woman a man. It has never happened. Clearly, that is a woman, albeit a woman with a shitty attitude and several underlying mental health problems, but a woman nonetheless. And to be fair, if she lost that unsightly septum piercing and sorted out her shitty haircut, she might look okay. And based on her scream at the end there, she has a potential career as a death metal singer. Next.
I am sick and tired of the UK, because tell me why, whenever I leave this damn country, my allergies gone, my asthma gone, but the second I come back to this country, I'm almost having an asthma attack. Does anyone know what is in UK air? Because I am tired. Get me out of here.
Roger my Jacksy with a prize-winning marrow. What's the subtext of what she's saying there? That the very air in the UK is Islamophobic and racist. And although she's got a British accent, she says she's tired of the UK. Trust me on this, love. Many of us in the UK are quite tired of you. My guess, though, as to why her allergies kick in when she's in the UK, well, I'm in England. Let's have a look around. England, a green and pleasant land. Although in recent years it's become a green, unpleasant land. I'm guessing her allergies are kicking in because of all the pollen. And when she goes abroad, again I'm guessing, based just on the way that she's dressed, she goes to countries which are a bit sandier. Another mystery solved. Moving on, let's see some performance art. Maybe I'm not able to fully comprehend the enormity of what's going on in that truly groundbreaking piece of art, because to my layman's eyes, it just looks like a bloke repeatedly hitting himself in the face with a balloon. Is there a deeper meaning? I'm guessing there isn't. Next up, let's see some protesting. Banging pots for Gaza. Well, that should bring about an immediate ceasefire, what with all the vigour and passion them two virtue-signalling leftists are showing. And of course, they don't want to admit that the reason there's a war between Israel and Hamas is that Hamas fucking started it, and the reason it's still going on is that Hamas still has hostages. Not only that, but the reason that the people of Gaza are starving is that Hamas are hijacking most of the aid. Once again, the left proves it has no fucking idea what it's doing. Because, if nothing else, the kaffirs that they're wearing aren't Palestinian. They are Yemeni and Jordanian.
Oh, Hulk Hogan died. Maybe we can get Kid Rock next.
So there's a member of the compassionate left, the people who are all about love and acceptance, not only celebrating the death of a man, but wishing death on another. Now, personally, I think that Kid Rock makes music for people who, when watching the movie Deliverance, would not only think that it was a documentary, but to them, Burt Reynolds would be the villain of the piece after he kills a hillbilly who's just engaged in some non-consensual buggery. As for Hulk Hogan, wrestling, or American wrestling as I remember it, that isn't a sport, in my mind, watched by intelligent people. Because, in my opinion, watching that type of wrestling, it's clear that when the obviously choreographed moves are carried out, If those moves were done for real, there'd be a fatality every fucking weekend. And I can remember Hulk Hogan from back in the 1990s, a man who used to get knocked unconscious almost every match. Knocked unconscious, that's instant brain damage. But then, when he got up from it, somehow he was invincible. He could take 50 blows to the head. Not only that, at the end of the match, no one's got a fucking bruise on them. That being said, I'm not happy that the man's dead.
So one of the defenses that I keep hearing for keeping transgender women out of women's bathrooms is that women's bathrooms are women-only space, that this is sacred and holy and keeps us all safe. It doesn't. But also it's a bad solution, right? Even if it worked, it wouldn't be a particularly good solution. What it is a workaround. It's a workaround for good rules actually being enforced. It's a workaround for actually being safe. It's just a pretense of safety. And that was fine right up until the moment where it started getting used to oppress a set of people who were harming no one. So, yeah, women-only spaces, I'm a woman and I don't give a fuck about them. Like, restricting a space by gender doesn't solve a problem. It creates a different problem. So, let's just stop doing it for the same reasons that we stopped keeping women out of men's golf clubs. For the same reasons that we fought for access to workplaces. Stop making it about this. Want people to be safe? Make them safe.
Women defending trans women in female-only spaces and female-only sports. To me, that's like chickens for KFC or queers for Palestine. And how does her logic, and I use that word extremely loosely, work? That if you keep biological males out of female-only spaces, they won't be safer for women. Nope, me neither. As for the argument that it's being used to oppress people who are harming no one, there are countless examples of trans-identified males competing in female-only sports and knocking the shit out of actual women. But of course she won't admit that because it doesn't fit with her narrative. And what strikes me about the pink-haired loon, who needs her roots doing, and maybe, love, get your teeth looked at, is she's not bothered about cross-dressing perverts invading female-only spaces, even though statistically they're far more likely to be sex offenders than the average man in the street. Because no man in his right mind, cross-dressing or not, would possibly want to fuck that. You could have the most depraved pervert hiding in the bushes, dastardly thoughts going through his head, an erection pulling the skin tight around his neck, and when she walks past, he'll be limper than a windsock on a breezeless day. Many of you will know that I'm a huge fan of the Netflix series Wednesday. But I wasn't aware that in the upcoming series, apparently Pugsley Adams is going in for a sex change. Mate, I look more feminine than you. You are never going to be mistaken for a woman. There will never be an instance at a party where someone says, "Oh, have you seen Sharon?" How to describe her? Well, she's 6'5", 28 stone, with 5 o'clock shadow, and she's boz-eyed. Oh, and wearing black lipstick. Well, there's some nightmare fuel. A man dressed up as a fox, or at least a fox created in the mind of a serial killer, wearing a green shirt. However, the good thing is, his costume is so convincing that if you're driving along and he runs out in front of you, you can just hit him with your car. It's vermin, it doesn't matter. There's one clip left, and as this series is called People Being Awful, I thought we'd take a look at, in my mind, the second worst person in the UK. Coming in behind Sir Keir Starmer in number 2 is Labour Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan.
Mr. Khan, I'm a Westminster City Councillor. I just wanted to ask you on your thoughts on knife crime going up by 60% in the past 2 years. No, this is the Met thing. Knife crime 60% up, and you don't care. Nothing to say? Nothing to say? Nothing to say about knife crime going up? 81,000 phones stolen? Nothing, you don't care?
If you want to write in.
If you want to write in, they say. Great. Mr. Khan, will you accept the debate for Nigel? He's being booed as we go inside. So I asked him, he wouldn't speak to me about a 60% increase in knife crime in our city in 2 years. 81,000 phones stolen. He wouldn't talk to me, he looked down on me, he wouldn't even bother answering. So I asked him, will he accept the challenge to debate Nigel on London's abysmal crime rate?
Yes, Sadiq Khan, the man who destroyed London. He doesn't give a fuck about the British or that once great city. And you can see that a lot of Londoners don't like him because he's booed in the streets. Here's a tip. If you need a police escort just to walk along the road, your constituents aren't keen on you. This is a man who stayed silent over Christmas and Easter, but insisted on getting London decorated for Ramadan. And the woman trying to interview him? Of course he's not going to speak to you, love. He's a devout Muslim. How dare you speak to him? You're not even wearing a hijab. That last bit was a bit right-wing, so I apologise for that. Although, to be fair, it's nice to be able to slag off someone in UK politics other than Keir Starmer. So weren't they terrible people? Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could leave a like, a comment or share the video, that really helps the algorithm. If you'd like to support me in making these videos, and thank you to everyone who's already done so, there are links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon, and as ever, thanks for watching. It's the last day of July, so here in England, obviously, I'm wearing my... well, fuck it. And today, on Things That Didn't Happen, the small, skinny woman claims she was oh, fuck it. As a layman, maybe I'm not able to fully comprehend the enormity and depth of that piece of performance art. Just to explain, I said performance art on the way into that video clip. Once again, we have the caring, compassionate left there, not only celebrating the death of a man, but wishing death on another. And in my mind, Kid Rock makes music for the type of people... Shit. Sadiq Khan, a man who won't answer... oh, fuck it. Yes, Sadiq Khan, a man who's incapable of answering a question, much like the leader of his political party. A man who won't answer questions on grooming gangs, who denies that crime is going up even though it's spiralling out of control. A man who, in my mind, is utterly vile. I can't remember the next fucking line.